Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. It's me here, solo. Adam's out doing some training, actually down in Oklahoma today. He'll be down there for a couple of days. We are super busy here at Moxie getting ready for the Travelers Conference, as I'm sure most of you guys are. We are super excited to be heading out there in about, 2 weeks now. We are preparing for some fun giveaways, so keep an eye on social media and on your emails here over the next couple of weeks for some updates on those. But today we are talking about, and this week actually we've kind of been talking a lot about biases and how they challenge us as recruiters. And we've talked a lot about some of the different biases that are out there, and there are tons of them, and how they really challenge us as recruiters and really even just as people. We face them all the time in our lives, at work, at home, in our personal lives. And there are some really easy steps I think that you guys can take to help you overcome them, whatever they might be. And sometimes we don't even recognize what they are, and they hold us back. And when you feel that happening, when you feel like there's something out there that's holding you back, I think that these are some great steps to help you try to overcome that. So one of the ones that we talked about this week, and I'm just going to pull up some of my notes here. One of the ones that we talked about this week was the anchoring bias, and we see it more and more, especially on social media. And the thing I think that we forget the most is that when we are on social media, it's such a small fraction of the total population of travel nurses, for example. So, one of the last counts that was taken of the total travel nurse population was like 40 or 50,000, right? Well, the amount that we're following on social media is very minimal compared to that amount, but we're letting that shape and mold how we choose to do business. So when we're looking at that and thinking about that and thinking about ways that we can overcome that, just as an example, how do we move past that? Some questions that I think that I want you to start asking yourself, and this is for this type of bias or any other out there, is first of all, what evidence do you have that this truly exists? What evidence do you have that this truly exists? The next great question to ask yourself is, how is this belief holding you back? How is it holding you back in your job? How is it holding you back in your personal life? How is it keeping you from meeting your goals? The third question to ask is, what would you do differently if this belief didn't exist? Would you be making more phone calls because you don't have this phone fear? Would you be sending more text messages? Would you be more active on social media? Would you be less nervous to pitch your pay packages? Whatever the case might be, whatever that fear is, what would you do differently if this belief didn't exist for you? The fourth question is, what do you think is the worst thing that could happen if you did it anyways? So if your fear or your belief is this, that the travelers don't like to get phone calls, but you hopped on the phone and made phone calls anyways, what is the worst thing that could happen? You might get yelled at. Oh, that's the worst thing that could happen. So ask yourself, if I did this anyways, what's the worst thing that could happen? And I think the last great question and thing to challenge yourself is, would you be willing to put this belief on hold for a week and see what happens? So would you and could you challenge yourself to just take this belief that's limiting you and put it on hold for a week? Write it down, put it in an envelope, fold it up in a piece of paper, and just set it aside for a week and do it anyways, just to see what happens. So just wanted to give you guys a couple of things to think about. 5 quick questions to ask yourself to help you overcome these beliefs. I think what you'll find is that you really have more control over these things than you think you do, as we do with most things in life. And if we start to take control of that and really just challenge ourselves to do it anyways, and see that it doesn't hurt that bad and we can get past it, we'll find out that we're braver than we think. And it's not as hard or as challenging as we thought it might be. So I hope that's helpful for you guys. We've really enjoyed the feedback we've gotten from you guys this week and in previous weeks. And if you've got any questions for us, keep them coming. And we'll see you next week. And hopefully we'll be seeing a lot of you at TravCon here in the next couple of weeks. Talk with you soon. Bye.